Hey guys, welcome to the pre-spring Warchant Report, spring game Warchant Report here with Corey Clark, Ira Chaffel, the dream team except for Aslan on the other end of the
he's right
camera.
there. He's
there.
close.
He's nearby. He can yell over if he needs to. Spring game coming up Saturdays, guys, and I know we have a round table, and I want to get some thoughts from you guys. Let's start with you, Corey, on who do you think is going to stand out this Saturday?
I mean, I got a mic right here, Gene. I'm good. I would say you can still do that though. I would say Tamorian Terry's my guy always.
Really, what a surprise!
How
about a guy that's going to stand out that we wouldn't expect to stand out?
You know, I'm interested to see Jaleel McCray because of the way they're talking about him. I don't know how much a linebacker can stand out in a spring game. But you know, if he's got 5 interceptions in the spring already, you got to figure but he's just around the ball apparently, and I do want to see how he moves. I don't know if he's going to stand out, but I do want to see how he moves. I also think, you know, Cam Akers, does that count? He had a down year, kind of. Does that count,
maybe.
Ira, as a guy that could maybe have a I wouldn't say breakout, but could play well? There's a lot of guys that we don't know a lot about. Akeem Dent. You know what? That's what I'm landing on. Akeem Dent. I did it. Sorry, gang.
That was mine.
Sorry. Well, too bad. I already asked me first.
All right, that's enough, Corey.
Sorry.
Cut you up before you name every member of the team. I'm going to go Kalen Laybourne, just because being healthy, having the full pads on. We got a little taste of him last spring, Virginia Tech game. I think he could have another big breakout. And the other guy I'm going to go with is Chaz Neal. Am I taking one of your guys?
No.
Okay, good. I got Chaz Neal there because, to me, I don't know if there's a more important. If one guy is going to jump out and be a solid college player, if Chaz Neal does a tackle, what does that do for this whole team?
Right.
I think having a guy like that at that position of need, I think, would be huge. What you got, Ira?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially any of those guys that are coming back from injuries. You know, what are those guys able to do? Laybourne, how cleared is he in a game situation? How cleared is Landon Dickerson? How cleared is, you know, some of these other guys that are coming back from you know, bumps and bruises or things that held them back last year. Emmett Rice is a guy I kind of wanted to see, but it sounds like he's had a hamstring late in camp. To me, really the linebacker group as a whole, if I could say, and Corey mentioned Jaleel McCray, but I really think that group is pretty much the key to this defense. I think we know the interior defensive line is going to be very good. Defensive end's questionable. Secondary should be good. That linebacker group has to be so much better than it has really been the last 2 or 3 years. So that's going to be the group I really want to watch. Is Dontavius Jackson taking another step? Is Leonard Warner the guy that we saw at the end of last season? I know he's moving to defensive end, but you know, those guys, do they start making plays? Hampson Nasruddin at linebacker is another guy I really want to watch.
And let's flip it the other way around. What are the questions in the roundtable? Any concerns post-spring, or I guess going into the spring game? So something that still kind of nags at you, Corey, about this team outside of what we saw all of last year, but looking ahead.
Again, Gene, I got the mic, buddy.
I mean, it's habit, man. It's hard not to.
I like the answer question handed to me. I mean, so I won't go with the offensive line because obviously that's much too obvious. You know, the pace. I want to see them actually go quick, go fast. You know, that we've heard about it this spring how last year was fast, this year's even faster. Well, they were fast last spring to us anyway, coming off the slog that was here before, pace-wise. But I want to see how much faster the offense is. Is it really 7, 8, 9 seconds they're snapping the ball again? Because we saw that a little bit in the spring, and then once we got to the season, it was almost non-existent. Now, a lot of that had to do because it's hard to rush to the line when you're second and 13. I get it. But still, I want to see the pace of the play. That's what I'm looking forward to the most to see, because I think that's one advantage this offense could have that they didn't have last year.
I don't know if that's a concern, but I guess
it's a concern to get the actual pace up to where they want it, is I guess what I meant to say.
Yeah, you know, to me, is in touching back on what I just mentioned about Leonard Warner moving to defensive end. So really, me, that position, the defensive end position is really a big question on this defense. And you know, Josh Kando has been here for 2 years, was the #1 defensive end in the country, has not emerged as the guy that everybody expected him to be. What does he do in this game? You know, Janarius Robinson has kind of gotten a lot of playing time, but hasn't made a consistent impact. What does he do in this game? Warner moving to defensive end could be a real promising development because they need somebody who can make plays there. But I want to see that, and I also want to see if they do anything, what they show us front-wise. You know, and again, you said concerns, but I'm curious also about what they do front-wise. Do they show any 3-4 stuff? We know they've worked on that some. Obviously, the spring game is going to be very vanilla, but you know, I think from a concern standpoint, that defensive end position.
Yeah, what about the Warner thing? Is that a positive or a negative? Does that mean they are not making plays there? Maybe they're having some concerns, and you move a guy like that who's, he's at least a contributor at linebacker, and you're moving him over to defensive end. So I wonder about that. I'd say still, it's not as low-hanging fruit as offensive line, but I think quarterback depth. I don't care about Hornibrook or Rector or McDonald or any of these guys. If you lose your starting quarterback, you're in big trouble. And I heard a stat. And I probably should check it before I say it here, but that no Bryles quarterbacks made it past mid-season healthy.
Oh,
and
all right. Well,
assuming that's accurate, that's a little bit concerning to me, obviously, because again, all this stuff doesn't matter what goes on here. If you lose your starting quarterback, it's going to be another ugly season circa 2017.
But luckily, Florida State's got the brick wall of the offensive line, so you don't have to worry about that.
Thank goodness for that.
But I will say, I think we all agree, right? The number one concern, and it's unsaid, is the offensive line. I mean, that's going to be the number one concern until it's not with this program.
Wasn't one of the things about that is again, it's a huge if. But if Dickerson and Minshew can make it through the bulk of the season, doesn't that alleviate? At least you can strive for mediocrity at that point. At least you're pretty good.
Yeah, and that should probably be the motto of the team this year, and maybe a sign they slap when they're walking out of the locker room.
DirecTV should be a sponsor, right? Just okay is okay.
Yeah, well, right? Exactly right. And they really, that's all they need to be is okay. Just get to okay.
If the premise to what's going to make this season okay is Dickerson and Minshew staying healthy,
it might be an issue. Yeah,
people might be a little uneasy. History hasn't proven to be on that side.
Any final thoughts, predictions for Saturday?
No, the gold team's going to win.
Really? Well, who has Blackman? I know
the gold team.
The gold team.
The gold team.
Right? That's why I said
Marvin
the gold
Wilson
team.
said that was his first pick. So if that's the gold team, that's
I will say this. I do think that Blackman will have a big day. I think they want him to have a big day. So I don't think it'll be like a Jameis type debut, what he did his first spring game. But I do think what they want to see is James Blackman having a big day to get, maybe get the crowd on his side a little bit, get the fan base on his side a little more.
Yeah, that was definitely a trick Jimbo would pull.
Oh, yeah.
He set things up for DeAndre, set things up, I would say he set things up for Jameis, but when you have a redshirt freshman throw him out there in your first call as a 70-yard bomb, you want the good things to happen. So, yeah, they can tailor things to the quarterback. And James, this is his team now. And the players know it, he knows it, the coaches know it. I'm sure they want the fans to buy in a little bit. And I'm also just curious about the reception. How many fans are there? What the mood is. Do people get excited after big plays, or are they reserved? All we've been hearing is, I'm going to wait till August to decide, or I'm going to wait till a Boise State game. Will people get excited if there's some big plays?
Nothing about that too. That is going to be interesting. The dynamic, the change from a year ago, kind of the electric crowd.
Right.
The record they had here, the number of attendees, the line. I remember us looking out of the back of the press box, and enormous lines wrapping around Doe Campbell. And now, can you hear a pin drop in this play? I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some fans here, but it may not be anywhere like it was last season. Final prediction for me, 27-24 gold team. Ricky hits that last-second field goal.
That would be huge. What a great moment in Florida State history that would be.
But they wouldn't cover.
No, they would not cover.
I think 6.5.
The line is 6.5 for the gold team. All right. So not covering here. You heard it here first on Warchant.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll have plenty of coverage after the spring game.